Hello, N4H&H here. I wanted to show you something that I've never really gone into any detail with, and that is the Ham Radio Deluxe interface to my my rig. This in this case is the FTDX 5000 MP, and so I just chased a couple of stations. One of them was a SOTA station, and I thought I would show you a little bit of the functionality here for those of you who may not have anything like Ham Radio Deluxe, or another great one is N3FJP. Just to kind of give a couple of honorable mentions there. Both great logging programs. Now this one has rig control in addition to logging. I'm going to temporarily pan over to one of my other displays here. So over on this display, I have the logging set up. Now on the left here, that's the SOTA Watch page, spots. Down in the bottom here, that's from Ham Radio Deluxe, and that is the DX cluster, which is always updating. And in the top, that's my station log. So each time I work a station, I just click here and back to the other monitor. I'll show you what that does. So that brings up, well, us in the software world call it a dialogue. It brings up that pop-up there, as you see, and that's where I enter all the pertinent information. Now, I have covered this in another video where, I'll just put in the person's call sign. Now, you see this is all grayed out up here for frequency and band and all. That's because the radio is connected to the computer, so it's, Ham Radio Deluxe and the radio are communicating back and forth. And so Ham Radio Deluxe is picking up from the radio what frequency, mode, and band I'm on. So I don't have to worry about that as long as I've got the two check boxes here, track. Now, if I'm working with a radio that is not connected to Ham Radio Deluxe, then of course what I do there is I'll turn off the track and then I can key those in. So when I work somebody, I just key their call sign in, and then I can come down here and I've got these profile buttons programmed for 100 watts, 200 watts, 300 watts, up to 1,000. And I generally run around. There's my friend Richard. I'll be right back. He's up on a roof working on an antenna, so I'm going to help him out, and I'll be right back. Okay, N4H&H back. That was my friend Richard, and he just installed a Diamond X300 base station antenna for his 2-meter, 70-centimeter base station. And he wanted a radio check, so I was working him with the, I'll pan over there and show you. So, if you've watched my videos here for a while, you see that the Yaesu 2980 there. And we were able to actually work each other with 5 watts, although that radio is capable of 80 watts. So back here to Ham Radio Deluxe. Let me focus back up on that TV monitor on the wall there. So I've got it split up, as you saw earlier. I've got the log page and the DX cluster over on the right, and then to the left of it, you remember I had the SOTA Watch page, which is that's just a web browser. And then up here is rig control, and then I'll go into a little bit more of what's there. What I wanted to show you is that I just finished up talking to Richard, and I'm going to log it. We talked for so probably about 53 minutes. I'm going to click in here in the minutes and drop that down by a minute. So there's his call sign, and we were 5.9 to each other. Now, this is a situation like I mentioned a while ago. I was over on the 2-meter rig, and right now, the FTDX 5000 and the Ham Radio Deluxe are talking to one another. So I'm going to unclick track, and then I'll go in here and hand key in that we were on 146.490. And it's already picked up that that's 2 meters. And of course, I'm going to switch this over to FM for the mode. So, with the radio that's connected via the CAT control, you don't have to do that. You just leave it on track and it takes care of it for you. And then I've got a comment section here I'm going to type into. I'll just say it was Richard's first contact with his Diamond. The camera's a little bit in the way of the keyboard, y'all, so forgive me. Diamond X300. And that worked out great. Now, I'm going to come down here and change my power to 30. We wound up talking at 30 watts. And then down here, remember these buttons, these profile buttons, they automatically load what power output. One is 100, two is 200, three is 300. And they even load what my equipment was. So I normally run the FTDX 5000 MP and the and the Elecraft KPA 1500. Now, watch what happens here if I click the 1. Power changes to 100 watts and Elecraft goes away. If I click the 2, power changes to 200. Elecraft is still not there, and the reason is for 200 watts output, I use the actual power of the radio. The FTDX 5000 MP is a 200 watt maximum power. So, for example, on 60 meters, I have to turn it down. So now, running the KPA 1500, I actually only drive it usually with anywhere from 14 to 18 watts because I usually hover in the 500 to 700 watt range. In fact, generally around 550 to 650. So in that case, then, for 60 meters, I go to 100 and then it takes off the Elecraft. Now, in this case, I'm going to backspace over that because I was using the FT2980, and then I'll do a -2980 for equipment. Now, why am I doing this? I don't know. One day I may want to look back in my log when I'm barely able to walk and look back through the contacts I made. I don't know. Or maybe one day my grandson might want to look through my log or something like that. We're trying to get him into ham radio. So there you go with the logging, and I'm going to go ahead now and click the add button. You can also type or press the F7 key, and then it's ready to log again, even on that same frequency if I'm working multiple people on the same frequency. Now I'm going to turn track back on and then cancel out because I'll go back to the 5000 next. So I want to show you a couple other things over here on the right. Well, first of all, rig control. What you're seeing up here, and by the way, this whole color scheme, the layout, you can control that through the software. There's some options over here in the edit and view and all of that to customize this. So I've customized these fonts and color schemes. That is VFO-B. And that is VFO-A. I just worked at Soda Station on 15 meters. I'm going to pan down to the radio for a second. Okay, so if you look down at the radio, you'll see that my VFO-B is on 7.150. And yes, I've got my OLEDs dimmed down. The reason for that being that it saves the OLED display here. So I had it on 0, but see, you can brighten that up. I'm normally working in here with only the light from the computer monitor, so 0 is enough. But I just wanted you to know that's why it was showing up dim like that. So if I get out of here, long press the menu button, 7.150 is my VFO-B. So if I change this, it'll actually show it different up there. Now what's going on is now seeing the memories that I have it set for memory mode. If I go over here, there we go. Now I'm setting VFO-B not from memory mode. You use this same knob to cycle through the memories, and those were 60 meter memories. But anyway, that's what shows up on the other display as you do the VFO-B setting. Now I'm going to go back in here and dim this. I don't want to keep that bright because I want to extend the life of those OLEDs. And back up here to the big monitor. All right, so 21.323. If I change, you see the little bars here, so that's just letting me know that that's the active digit, and I can use my mouse wheel to change that. If I want to change that digit, I just click on it and use the mouse wheel. And let me show you something down on the radio again. And I've even got this dimmed out some too. Let me defeat all that so you can see better. All right. So watch down in the display. I'm using my mouse wheel up on Ham Radio Deluxe, and it's changing the frequency for me. I'm sorry to keep doing this, but I want to pan back up and show you something else. And yes, of course, if I turn the knob on the radio, it's going to change up there on Ham Radio Deluxe. This area over here on the right, I'm on 15 meters, and so therefore it's showing 21 megahertz band here. And these are current stations that are in the DX cluster. So it's taking the information from the DX cluster and look at this, even updating right there. And it's drawing a line from their call sign to the area in the band that they are located. And the red means those are fresh posts. In other words, these are the most recent ones to post to the DX cluster. The ones that are in black, they may still be there, but they were posted longer ago. Now, I want to show you what will happen in this situation. You can go over here, and let's say if I want to just work this guy here, I click NC4H. Look at the display over there on the left. And the rig changed as well, by the way. So it's already setting me up to work this guy. If I want to work N4U, I click, and it sets up the frequency for him, her, whatever the case is. So, and here's a 9A9RR, 21230. Wow, that might be a good one to work. So that's the cool thing about that. By the way, you can do the same thing from the DX cluster window over here. Let me pan over there. Zoom in. So remember on the left there, that's that colorful stuff. That's the soda. And I know that's kind of getting washed out from the setting here on the video. Let me see if I can fix that for you. Okay, so that's a little bit more readable now. What I want you to see is down at the bottom where the DX cluster is, if I see a station I want to work, and this is information that just looking at the same information in a different screen here than what I just showed you up there on the other monitor, you get more detail here. You know, where they are, how many miles away they are, some comment notes, you know, the modes. If I want to work one of these stations, and let's see, here's one 21.285. I select it, and oops, there we go. And I by the way, see this new ALE window? That just brings up the log already loaded with his info. But if I double click it, it sets the rig up to work that station. Now let me pan back over here to the other monitor. And you'll see the frequency is now on 21.285. And let me show you what I was talking about. I'm going to double click. I'm going to right click and do that new ALE window. And you see it pops up the log window. It's already got the frequency. It's got his call sign. Everything's already in there. Lake Monroe Amateur Radio Society, Longwood, Florida. So all that's ready to go. I could work that station. You know, put in some notes. And by the way, the start time, I can click in the call sign field, press F2, and it'll automatically put in the exact time down to the seconds. And then when I finish a QSO, I press F3, and it updates the ending time if you keep up with end times. And then, of course, you can type some notes in. You can set what your power level was, and then you hit hit the add button. By the way, it goes back to whatever the last power level you used, as far as which one of these profiles it picks, and that is going to, in this case, I was using profile 2 last, and so it's going to give me profile 2. All right, just a little bit of a rundown of Ham Radio Deluxe. I guess I should mention one other thing. These sliders across the bottom, or rig control. So the FTDX 5000, like many radios these days, use encoders instead of actual potentiometers for the knobs. So when you're rotating a knob, you're not actually adjusting a potentiometer, you're adjusting a digital encoder. And so you can go up here, I can adjust squelch here, for example, RF power, see it's at 20 watts. If I move that slider over, it's also adjusting the radio, even though the radio has a knob for watts, okay? Well, what does that do to the knob? Okay, don't think ahead. It does not actually rotate that knob, because remember, the knob's just a digital encoder. It'll be 31 watts. Now, if I go back and turn the knob, then the knob takes over, and you can see there I lowered it down 21, 14, 21, 17, what have you, 19. So I can adjust things either place. There's Vox delay, there's the DNR, digital noise reduction levels, automatic gain control. It's just, you got a lot of the control of the radio right up there in that particular display. And even this is customizable in the color scheme up here too. See, noise reduction main, I can turn it on and off, that kind of thing. IPO in the sub receiver, the VFOB, turn on and off, processor on off, those kinds of things. And then, of course, in the lower right, there's the clock. That's also from Ham Radio Deluxe. See, you can move these things around, resize them, whatever you want to do. And then this is the gray line map. And so I keep those right down in here tucked away. So I determine by moving these around, see, where they're going to be. And another cool thing about this, I don't know if you can catch it, but when I move that, did you see that it's snapping? What's that? I only move I'm there. See, I'm moving the mouse here, and then I get close enough, and it finds the boundaries. And then when I move this over, boom, it locks right in. Now, you can, of course, click the edge of these and resize them, which I did. And, so I'm trying to just maximize the use of my display there. So, again, this is Ham Radio Deluxe. There are so many. I just did a survey of the Patreon team, what logging programs they were using, and wow, I mean, in fact, the Patreon poll app only allowed me, I think, 30 different logging programs to put in there, but there are even more than 30. But I would say, N3FJP, I believe, was number one. HRD's kind of high up as well, Ham Radio Deluxe. So there are a lot of these programs out here like this, and they all have varying degrees of what they can do besides logging. This one, of course, you get the rig control, which is kind of nice. Those of you who know me and watch the channel a while, though, I'm a knob twister. I like a radio with knobs. If I wanted to do it all up here, I would probably, then I'd just go to a complete SDR, I guess. But I do use the things like this, to automatically set the frequency to go chase that guy. All right, I hope you found the video helpful and informative, or at least entertaining. And hey, thank you to the Patreon team who helped me keep this channel going. And if you like this type of content, please do me a favor and click that like button, and consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do subscribe to the channel, don't forget to click that notification bell. And if you would like to join the Patreon team and help offset the cost of doing this, go to www.patreon.com/N4HNH, patreon.com/N4HNH. I'll put it on the screen. And then, and finally, I want to say again, thank you to you who watch these videos and let me know that they do help you, and click the like button. It helps me know that I'm not wasting my time doing this. So thanks again for watching, and 73 from N4HNH.